Yeah, hi, Sue. I've done an update on the data for the coronavirus in New Zealand, and I think it's quite remarkable what is happening there. I'll share my screen here so you can see um, this is our screen here, where you can see that I haven't changed this. This is almost 5% is the education rate and how quickly people have responded to go into quarantine. And so far, it's looking at about maybe 6 people who may succumb to this disease, with only about 1,200 people at any one time who could be sick or hospitalized. Total number of cases may rise to about 7,000. The death rate I have kept constant at 0.08 of 1%. The growth rate has been dropped extremely. Very, very quickly. That's what this number, this education rate means. We compare that, well, actually what I'll do is I'll go straight to the data that I have here. Italy, by comparison, this is just to show in contrast, Italy by comparison has 156,000 cases at this time. 19,000, almost 20,000 people have died. And we can see that the total number of cases logarithmically is starting to reach a zero slope, which means that there are no new cases happening. Nevertheless, it's still climbing. The number of daily new cases, it is dropping. This is Italy. The active cases are still climbing. The total number of deaths, if we look logarithmically, it's starting to peter out, so it would be like the same number of deaths. Or basically no new deaths would be happening. So we're trying to get this to zero. Actually, what they're trying to get to zero is the slope of this line, so it levels out. They talk about flattening the curve, but however, linearly is still going up. Maybe a slight chance of this thing maybe looking like it is in an S curve. We now go to the New Zealand data. This is the latest New Zealand data, which I've just put in. This is what we have at the newest New Zealand data, just to see if the model that I have is in any way accurate or reflecting what needs to be reflected. We're seeing that now we have climbed to 4 deaths. The number of cases are at about 1,330. That may increase considerably. However, as we're seeing, we now see a very distinct S curve is starting to form logarithmically. We're still climbing from 1312 up to 1330. So only a very few number of cases. This is where it's really remarkable. We see the daily new cases are starting to drop. We want to get that to zero, and nobody can budge until that hits to zero. You only got 18 cases that occurred in one day. But this is where we actually start to see a miracle happening, because this is now going down. There's a number of active cases, which I have, where am I here? New Zealand, number of active cases, you're over the hump here. I had said that this would hit about 1,200 from the mathematical model that I have, and not too bad. I'm more than what has actually happened, but we're pretty close. How many? We're actually about 927, almost 1,000, but you're now over the hump. It means you're halfway there. You have to remain in quarantine for at least another 4 to 6 weeks. Total deaths have now climbed, but we've had a day where it has stayed at 4 deaths, no new deaths. This is quite remarkable. So if Kiwis remain indoors or remaining in quarantine, I'll put it that way, you can still go for a walk or so forth, but mask up, whatever you do, is stay away from other people, what we call social distancing, but I mean, a lot more than social distancing. It means like staying the heck away from each other. So it looks like this may actually happen, that this is now starting to drop. So it looks like this is when this started, a couple of months. And within a couple of months, actually within 6 weeks, you could have no cases for a period of time. We may have a number of no cases in a period of time. You're past the inflection point. Inflection point marks the halfway point. So you're now starting to drop this down. I have said total number of cases may hit about 7,000. Where with total cases, um, you are now at 1,300. So I hope that I am completely wrong and that there are far fewer cases than what I have predicted on the number of total number of cases. You may have actually killed this thing, and if you remain in quarantine for at least 4 to 6 weeks, probably 6 weeks, this it will be dead, and there'll be no place for the virus left to live. And that's this is what I've managed to detect. So this is just the next update to see how closely we're matching. But so far, New Zealand seems to be holding steady, and you're in the most favorable position of any country in the world. Thank you.